Hey, and welcome to Let's Talk Over Command and Conquer Renegade, where we're going to watch me play it a couple weeks ago.
And
I'm
that's
Rue.
Westwood Studios. That's why you could hear me,
Yeah.
Mr. Nato, clapping
Yes.
because it makes me happy. Oh, this is an actually way more entertaining intro than I thought it would be. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
super 90s, but
It's the early 2000s, man. Got
yeah, but
action,
it just makes
adventure.
it super. Yeah, yeah, get
Yeah.
some characters.
Ooh.
Running animation.
3D
Bum, bum, bum,
graphics.
bum. Post 007 GoldenEye.
Totally not.
Renegade.
Sing-
Oh wow,
Oh,
that
yeah.
running animation, that doctor, the white-haired
Yes.
Asian doctor reminded me of just normal Renegade, of course.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. Mm.
Oh,
So, what are you
yes.
drinking tonight?
Oh,
Oh, that's a scorpion. Cool.
Dos Equis. Yes.
Dos Equis.
Mm. Look, it
Did you
has
say an
cutscenes.
imaginary base? It does have cutscenes.
Yeah.
Did that guy have an incredibly racist Asian accent? I'm turning it up.
Maybe a little bit. So this opening scene was a little confusing. Because there's some guys you can't kill because one of the characters has to kill him. So you might see me shooting a guy and him not dying,
Okay.
which is really jarring.
Mm. Oh, man, that music reminds me of Rogue Squadron music. Because it's super 90s or early 2000s. Oh, this is
Yes.
cool though. I like that tank firing at point
Yeah.
blank range. I like
Yeah.
how that Humvee did not engage either.
Yeah. So, a whole basically squad is getting wiped out. What do? Send one guy.
Yeah,
Because this is,
the one man
yeah. Well,
with the mission.
there's like two other engineers, but whatever. And real quickly, I demonstrate how this game is first and third person. In a minute. There you go. Hello.
Oh, are you gonna play it in first or third
I'm
person the
pretty
whole
sure I play
time?
it for first person or third. I don't remember anymore.
Okay,
It'll be
looks
a
like we're
secret for.
boxed in.
Boom,
Yeah.
that's a dead sniper.
So this game, single player, is basically a tutorial for the campaign?
No?
Yeah, M113, engage that.
Yeah, you'll notice, see,
Shoot it
these
off.
guys just are mortal until he got behind that rock. Then I could kill him. It's weird. But this game, so many memories.
Oh, another drink of my alcoholic carbonated green tea.
Mm. An APC.
Wow, he's super
Yeah.
immortal. Yeah, I made it by making super concentrated green tea, adding sugar to that, mixing that with soda water, and then mixing that soda water with, um, shoot, Everclear. Yep, that's what it's called. Wow, that Chinook is incredibly just red bottomed.
Well, they are a nod.
Yeah, I forget,
Bastards.
in Renegade X, is there an enemy Chinook? I mean, a Nod Chinook?
Renegade X being the modern day mod of this game.
Modern day mod slash, yes.
Modern mod be a modern day version of this game. I think it does. Oh, it's been too long. It's played that.
I really can't remember if they both have a Chinook or a
I'm pretty sure they
Chinook,
do
as
because
one
they.
of our friends call.
Chinook, no Chinook.
Yeah, it's a Chinook, but one of
I
our
can't really
friends calls
remember,
it a
but
Chinook.
since there's two on the original game, I'd hope they put it in there.
That was some good character model there.
Yeah, I know, right? I think his mouth was moving, and that's what I was trying to get a thing of. And that's exactly how you fix a tank.
That is exactly how an M1 Abrams works in real
Yes.
life.
No, it's not an M1 Abrams, it's a medium tank.
Oh, it's a medium tank. It's not an M1 Abrams.
No, not at all.
Wait, that's because Nod uses an Abrams, right? No, they
No.
don't. I forgot.
No, it's not Abrams because they didn't want to pay the licensing fee to call it an Abrams. Well, and it's supposed to not be modern day America, sort of.
Yeah.
Check out that badass orca. Yeah.
Yeah. This game's just like, oh my gosh, it's just like I was in a game of Command and Conquer as the unit.
Yep.
It's
Well,
literally.
you'll see that later. It'll show actual gameplay footage of regular Command and Conquer game, and then it'll zoom into this. So it's exactly like you're in a game of Command and Conquer.
just dropped
Yeah.
in
Yes.
soldier.
Quality programming around these parts.
Oh no, it's a laser
Obelisk.
beam.
It's an obelisk.
Obelisk. I can't remember
Now, of
French.
course, tank shells are notoriously bad for not getting through barbed wire in real life. And boom.
Through it half the time.
Yep. Knock out the
Mm,
Sams.
yeah. Surface tear missile people. Thank you, random female computer voice. I don't know why all the computer voices are female, especially
Well,
when it's
her name
Microsoft
is
Sam.
Eva. Eva. That's what it is.
What?
Electronic virtual assistant. Eva. So that's why it's a female.
Oh, oh, look at me.
So,
I have a cool acronym to explain why it's female.
it's me waiting for plot to happen.
Yes, I can
This is me
tell.
farming points. If we were in multiplayer, we needed an ion cannon to blow up the gate.
uh,
Even though there was a mammoth tank.
I'm a tank out of nowhere. You didn't get to drive it. Suck it, noob.
Yeah. Even though there's no way they would have seen Havoc in front of them. See how good I did.
It gives you shots
Yeah.
by where you hit on the map.
Yeah. Impressive, isn't it?
Did that have ankles? I thought it had
I
ankles.
don't really know.
It just had legs. It had waist though. It had legs, waist, chest, arms, shoulders, and like head. Shoulders, knees, and
Yeah.
toes. Knees and toes. Ah, okay. Yeah, pointing at people and like just you. Yeah, get up here.
See,
Look how only half, and by half I mean one of these people has a
that's a
uniform.
oh.
Yeah, he's not a brigadier general. He's a general. Wait. One, two, three. Lieutenant general. Excuse me.
No. This isn't the U.S. military. It's the
Yeah, so he's a
GDI.
brigadier general. So brigadier generals. So brigade
He's the
commanders, like they have 3 stars.
hmm,
So a 2-star general commands a battalion, and a 1-star general commands a
yeah.
freaking
But
company.
this isn't the U.S. It's the Global Defense Initiative.
Yeah, but they just said brigadier general because brigadier general sounds better than lieutenant general, and they'd already made the freaking general ranks on them. Or they didn't even know. Conditioning camps?
hmm
Why does he still have face paint on his face? His face paint is terrible.
No, I think it's just bruises.
It's super green bruises because he's always fighting all the time.
Ugh, muscles.
Look at those muscles. They're tortured civvies.
This was released roughly a year after Halo 1. And I have to say I played this a lot more than I did Halo.
Yeah. Well, Halo's thing was that it was on the Xbox, not the PC.
Yeah, but how gay
I
is
played
that?
it on PC. It's way worse on PC. Crystal, sir. These cutscenes are actually pretty good.
Yeah. And they're
The
not.
doors almost
Oh,
crush you as you
if you
walk
look at
through them.
yeah,
Whoops.
if you look at
Yeah,
that screen, it looks like you're playing Command and Conquer, right?
it
You'll
does.
you'll see it in a moment. Ooh, a female.
Yes, the female is the only one in a naval uniform.
Liberated hovercraft.
Just like my body from my clothing.
What? Oh, see, playing Command and Conquer.
It is Command and Conquer.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, so cool.
Oh my gosh, it's like I'm in the game! I'm playing a game though. Wait. Ah, damn, this is such
Loading
good.
screens and
I
all.
missed that 90s thing where it was like, hey, not 90, well, late 90s, early 2000s, where they were experimenting with the RTS slash first person, third person shooter combination.
Yes.
Really missed that. There are some notable games that still have that, like Natural Selection 2, freaking Divinity Dragon Commander, some BS like that.
Just showing you how the map looks.
Oh man, look, it's the map.
Yep. That's
It's
the last time we'll look at it, probably.
That was the most realistic climb animation on a ladder I think I've ever seen.
Now, there's interesting things about how this first single player was done. There's several ways to go. You can completely not experience entire areas if you go a certain way. Oop, shot that prisoner.
You almost execute a prisoner if there had been friendly fire.
No, he took fire. He took a little bit of damage, but you know,
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Just didn't die with
But I
such.
realized it before he was super dead.
Mm, good job. I like that Tiberium that's just there. You
Yeah,
just run by it. It's
just, you
totally
know, whatever.
just to make a quick strike. Oh, they're executing civilians.
Yeah,
What?
there's an officer in there.
Cool. I like the officer in Renegade X because he's got a freaking shooting gun.
Ooh. Yes.
Prototype homing beacon.
I
10
remembered. I
seconds.
remembered there's a thing in here.
You're taking damage, but screw it
Yeah.
because we've got the thing. What was the thing?
I think it just updated the map to be
Yeah,
more
go
accurate.
game.
Yeah.
So Doom comes out soon, and by Doom I
Mm.
mean Doom 4
Yeah.
slash Doom.
Totally, the first Doom comes out. Won't be as good as the shooter as this game, right? Oh.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mm.
Battlefield 1 got announced.
Right.
Battlefield 1. Yeah, because it's World War One.
One.
Battlefield 1.
I wonder how they're gonna make that not boring.
Well, according to the trailer, there will be a Lawrence of Arabia section, and that's all I need in my life.
Fair enough.
If there's literally like 2 maps where you're Lawrence of Arabia, okay with that. However, yes, I'm waiting to see how much just
Yeah,
freaking
I mean,
massive amounts
just
of
a
shell.
bunch of bolt actions. Maybe one guy with MG. I don't know. See, you can actually hear what they're saying through the sniper rifle.
What?
Yeah. And then there's this little thing where he laughs at you. Little Easter egg.
What?
Yeah.
Why did he laugh at you?
I don't know. I
I don't
just thought
know.
that was interesting.
Oh, you shot Jim. I hate Jim. Thanks.
Thanks, bro. And then
Immediately to the GD. Boom. Well, I mean, what they're going to do with the new Battlefield is they're going to have submachine guns, pistols, probably just like really emphasize close combat. Oh, wait. There's going to be the snipers that don't even notice because they're just campers anyway.
hmm.
And shotguns. They're basically every weapon that was just a special snowflake weapon slash not very common is going to be the most common.
Hmm. Right.
We'll
That's
probably start
that's
with
what I.
bolt action.
Hmm.
Actually, no, scratch that. You won't because it's Battlefield and it's mainstream and everybody
Yeah,
loves it.
that's what I was thinking. It's a bit too
And
mainstream to just
hardcore
get.
mode would just be like super camp fest,
Yeah.
which is most realistic for
Now,
some maps, but
according to the mission, you're supposed to take the medium tank, go out into an area, and do things, or you can save these civilians who are getting attacked by Nod,
what?
and then they'll give you a secondary way to go, and then they'll that will also lead you to a secret area. Oh ho!
Choices, choices, just kill them all.
Yeah, skill all the civilians.
My family's been taken to some sort of camp. We need your help. There's a path behind this shed if you want to go on foot. But the next field is heavily defended, so be careful.
Oh, so yeah, that Battlefield 1 thing. I don't know. They're just gonna. Um, it's not gonna be like if Red Orchestra was a World War I game. It's gonna be different.
Yes, Red Orchestra would be very realistic.
Yes, and this won't be. It'll be Battlefield, but with I don't know World War I guns somehow.
Yeah,
Even
and
though
with
they're
one
mostly
tank
shit.
being prominent. I am going to be happy to see if they do all of the fun biplane stuff.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because here's the thing, it's like aircraft that's actually that slow.
Yeah.
So
Or
it
you
makes
just get a
sense.
pistol and you shoot it out the side. And...
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. That would be fun. the actually having cavalry in a Battlefield game will be fun until it's a gimmick, because it's probably just going to be a gimmick. Um, I mean, it'll probably be enjoyable to play like 10 to 20 hours of, and then you're like, why did I ever like that game? Maybe even that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Did you just say Visceroids? Where are
Yes!
Visceroids?
Visceroids are, I forget exactly, they're either people mutated by Tiberium or creatures that just exist in the Tiberium. And this is a little hidden area that you don't have to go to.
Why have I never... Oh my gosh.
They were really annoying in the first Command and Conquer game, because they were just really hard to kill, and they hung out in Tiberium fields.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew this about Command and Conquer. Well, I played Command and Conquer and Renegade, but I haven't played the whole campaign.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, maybe you should someday.
Visceroids and 8-bit armies.
Oh, because of copyright reasons.
Well, there's going to probably be an equivalent.
8-bit armies is a bit more red alerty, I guess, because they don't have a Tiberium or anything like that. It's just kind of normal units for now. Just collecting oil. This is me pretending to use the map, even though it's no use to me. Because really, it's just push forward to next thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Nice timing, sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm super cool.
Rich Cortana are going to get heavily sexualized by Microsoft in the next few years. It's a disappointing thing I have about Cortana is that she went from being like sidekick extraordinaire, like, to just
Sexable.
tits that
Yeah,
talks
tits that talk.
and gives you the
Well,
mission.
that's females in video games for you.
Not all video games.
You have
Just
any good examples?
Yeah, 13-year-olds.
Yeah, well, most video games.
Oh, but you know, it's almost as if like one of the major prerogatives for life is to reproduce. So it's not like it sells or anything.
Yeah, yeah, who
It's
cares?
like, people are like, oh my gosh, sex sells, and they're like, yeah, so.
And?
I mean,
And?
Cortana's kind of annoying. It's super duper mainstream, but it's more annoying because she started out as not having
Yeah, I can see that.
D cup breasts, and then like every single Halo increased it. And so I went back and played like the original Halo 1 with the original graphics, and we were actually, me and another one of our friends, were playing the remastered Halo, like the whole the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One, and I was like, oh, switch graphics. It was like, switch graphics, okay, Cortana's, and then switch graphics, and like her breasts go from being like just, you know how they are in the
polygons,
original,
yeah.
boom. I'm like,
Just boom. Yeah.
wow, really? I mean, I know it was a big change, but just this is annoying. Wow.
So yeah, it's to save
Yeah,
these clergymen. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
little side mission thing.
I really thought that was going to be like a House of Nod.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it was going to be a super non-religious thing. They stab you in the back. Cain.
Kane.
You know, Cain.
Yes.
They just say Cain every time they stab. Cain.
Yes, from now on they do. Of course, oh, that hurt way more than I expected it.
Yeah, and she took that comment.
No, they're rendered the clergy's next door.
Save it.
And then if you listen, you can actually hear him interrogate. And if you wait too long, he kills her.
What? That's
Yeah.
really very.
This
small.
flamethrower guy just surprises me.
Comes out of freaking nowhere. Sexualization in video games. Although something that annoyed me, or that annoys me, is when people complain about sexualization in video games, and it's like, doesn't make sense. Like, for example, you know the game Smite?
Mm-hmm.
The third-person MOBA?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally like mythological gods.
Yes.
Yes, so there's some female gods in that in their mythologies are extremely like sexualized and stuff, and
Mm.
in the traditional like thousands of years old artwork are like nude every time, all the time.
Yes.
Like Indian goddesses and stuff like that, where it's like they're having sex with five beings, kind of thing.
Well,
And people complained about them being sexualized, like sexual in nature or something.
well, see, especially in America, we have a problem with that. Where sex is kind of taboo instead of
It's
just a
really
part of who
weird.
we are.
Killing is not taboo.
Mm-mm.
Which, okay, so
At all.
killing's not taboo for me, but infantry. That's okay. That's a part of my like smaller tribal culture thing.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like killing's not like it shouldn't be a normal thing for human beings.
Yeah. Blow a guy's head off?
That it
That's fine in America.
Yeah, but it's like
A
we
penis? No.
getting blown apart in PG-13 movies
Yeah.
as long as the blood is not red.
Or a guy getting his heart ripped out like in Indiana Jones. That was rated PG.
Yeah, plus PG-13. Oh gosh, but a boob. Whoa.
Wayo.
Part of like any part of human society. Oh gosh. So abstinence only sex ed programs are my super pet peeve.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and like full disclosure, I've only ever had sex with my wife, and that's like I'm not. It's like if you believe in
okay,
something, whatever.
It's okay if she's in the room, Glenn.
But you got to tell those stupid teenagers to not be a fool and wrap their tool, otherwise
It's just that easy.
bad things, okay? Because you don't want to know how many chicks got pregnant in high school in my class of 22?
How many?
It was either 3 or 4.
That was uneventful. I was waiting for like 10.
No, it wasn't 10. There wasn't that many chicks in my class anyway. There was like 8.
Mhm.
So like a fourth of the chicks in my high school class got preggers.
Right.
Um, and those weren't even all the ones that were just like, those were just the ones that were just being a fool and not using protection because I don't know why. Because they were stupid and like 14 to 16 having tons of sex with random dudes. Well, not all of them. One of them, okay, so 2 of them were in a stable relationship. The other one was just.
Well, stable relationship in high school.
What?
In high school? That doesn't really count.
Exactly, though. Exactly. No. Does not translate well to a lifelong commitment. Other pet peeve. Making
Okay.
someone marry someone
Mhm.
just because they got them pregnant.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah, I hate
best
that.
selection for a husband. Making your daughter
He
marry
didn't pull out in time, therefore, great
someone
husband.
to not use protection. What? No. Only in a society where literally your daughter cannot get married to anyone else, and that's very much not American society.
Hmm.
It basically anywhere in the United States. Basically. In the
Yeah, kind of sad.
Yeah. So like, actual sex education. Oh, those are benches. That's awesome.
Yep,
I'm just gonna.
gotta get gains.
Everyone in this room was like a officer or something. I thought you were just gonna let face to an entire.
Oh, you see, that's the difference between you're in the military and I'm not. I don't just look at people and like, oh, they need to die now.
Well, see, it makes sense because
From the country that brought you friendly fire.
command center, right?
Hmm.
Like literally the command center. Oh, let's just bring random hostages that we
Yeah,
have
not
into
just
the
civilians.
center of our base where everything goes down.
So
and
this area is very strange. It's a little training area. Some of the not-office like units, you'll see they have a little mark next to their name, and when you shoot them, they say ceasefire. So they were training something. I don't know, because they say ceasefire, but then they shoot at you eventually anyway.
that's
They have
very
different
quality.
icons. I
That
don't
is
know.
very quality. Like
Yeah.
I am just continually like surprised by this. The fact that this
Yeah,
is
it's the first level, so this is where all the effort went in.
I mean, this is basically a civilian model G36 on your back. Actually, in Renegade X, it is a civilian model G36.
Hmm.
It's kind of annoying. German military getting rid of those because they melt.
Well, they've been doing that for like years, though. It's not the only reason.
Certain reasons. Alright.
See, here, I didn't know this guy could shoot through the glass.
So you didn't shoot him. Good job, Common.
Yeah, I was
Now
like,
you're gonna shoot through the glass.
no, there wasn't anyone there.
Yeah, I realize you could tell. Oh, you got the minigun now.
Oh yeah, I don't ever use it though, because the
Hey,
standard assault rifle does just fine.
fine. I'm a fool for liking the chain gun. But it just, I don't think I have to say anything more about the sex ed thing because
Yeah.
everybody's like, anyone who knows anything about it is just like, yeah, wrong with this guy.
Any educated person on it will agree.
The bad thing is that people are like, oh, well, we just need to tell the kids to not have sex. It's like, did that work when you
I
were in
know.
high school
I'm
for
gonna tell my rebellious teenager to not have sex.
this
This will
thing
work out
that
fine.
literally their body's like, you need this now. This is a new feeling you have and you need it.
Instead of expose it to them so it's not weird and taboo and they know about it.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
no,
goodness.
no, just reject it
We're just
completely.
gonna let them try and figure things out and then be screwed up for a
Yeah.
while or something. Or feel bad about their life because they feel like something's not right. Or
Yep.
they only learned about sex through pornography and feel bad because they don't last for 65 minutes straight.
Hmm.
Going full blast.
Full blast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, so just no, just especially with the internet and everything the way it is now, like you need to tell your kid because they're going to find it on the internet,
Yes.
whether they want to or not. Just,
Uh,
we just agree on this.
yeah, so it doesn't really. Okay, let's see. Devil's Advocate. Um,
But
yeah, no, I agree.
I don't want to be bad. No, I literally can't think of a good devil's advocate things unless it's hyper retarded. Oh, this is bad. That was
Yeah.
X-rays of a knee.
Yeah, it was still. It's because all those knee shots I gave people.
Yeah, totally. The knee shots, and not because they've been rucking or running or
Nope.
anything. Yep,
Nope.
got it. Nope, they're not. Oh, that's one of your guys. I was like, why is
Yeah.
there a odd guy in a
Nah.
brown like overall suit?
We kind of talked over it, but there's a part in which they gave me a GDI soldier as backup, and if you hit a button on him, he'll follow you and he'll fight with you. And I never knew that before. And every time I try to do it from here on out, it just doesn't work. So so weird that maybe that was yeah. And that's how you destroy a building.
Yeah, kids, you destroy the master control
You
panel.
find the biggest
The
you find the biggest computer
2000s.
in the place and you blow it up.
Welcome to the early 2000s, late 90s. It's
See,
actually still the way it is.
chain guns are really good against light armor for reasons. That's the main time I only use it. Just to kill buggies and whatnot.
I just like chain guns because they're cool. I
We
have
don't
no.
get that much ammo for it. Well,
I don't.
so how do you feel about females being allowed in the draft?
I think it should be a thing. Okay, so
All right, so do I.
here's
Moving
the
on.
thing. So, well, I have to qualify this and
Okay.
explain it a little bit more
Yeah,
because
go on.
I've got good reasons for it because
Because NATO.
don't ever make me president because I'm going to literally try to be Caesar and like make it an empire. Anyway, the reason females should be in the draft, whether you feel like they should be in a combat arm or not, and that's yet to be seen in a major war, and by yet to be seen I mean U.S., not like the Soviets
I was like,
using
yeah,
them or anything,
Soviets, man.
because they were quite capable killers, and are quite capable killers in combat.
Hmm.
Even in our own like we have female MPs that got ambushed and stuff, and killed the living just everything out of the guys that ambushed them. Anyway, so a good reason for having females in the draft is that in the next major war, you know how much manpower you're going to need? A lot. A
Yeah.
lot of manpower for support jobs, for transportation, which is a part of support, for just random things throughout the military. You're going to need tons of bodies. And the way that the current American public is, we're limiting ourselves by not having females available for the draft, basically because everyone's getting really, really fat and or just
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
when
America for you.
society gets to the point where we're at, it's very privileged and all that, and they haven't worked necessarily, not worked a day in their life, but they haven't been outside or in an industrial job or all these other things that the vast majority of Americans used to engage in. Because I mean, it's a thing that in World War II and like in other times, guys would be like, well, the recruits from cities are pretty, like, they're pretty weak.
Mm.
And it took them a little while to get up to strength. They were wimpier. In fact, this is something my grandfather told me. It was like, well, you know, all the farm boys were like way better off physically than the city boys. They were the ones that had trouble in PT and stuff at basic.
Mhm.
Anyway, so you're going to need more people for the draft. So why not just open it up to the other half of the population?
Yeah.
And then even if you don't take them into combat arms, you've still got them for everything else. Wow, it's amazing. Doubling of manpower just
Yeah.
overnight because of legislation. The thing that annoys me, though, is, of course, some of the commentary around it, and then, like, the petition that's like, no, don't allow women into the draft. It's like, okay, so you don't want to have them in the infantry either. No, just allow the 5 that want into the infantry.
uh,
Okay, whatever.
just
They
just no.
literally could not get over that wall. That slightly higher than chest
Well,
height.
there were guys with guns on the other side of that wall. To be fair.
To jump to prove themselves up. Anyway, so yeah, I'm totally for it. Like,
Mm.
if my daughter were to get drafted for World War III or IV, I'd be like, good, because my son would be getting drafted too. Like, an equal opportunity. But
Yeah, yeah. It's almost
so
like it's about equality and not saying that women aren't as good as men. That's what you're saying when you say you don't support this kind of. Well, women aren't as good as men, so therefore we shouldn't be drafting them.
yeah, so then we shouldn't
So,
have them in the
but
infantry.
I'm like, but women are equal to men, so they should be drafted.
And then they're just like the mind explodes because
Yeah.
it's like, but. It's like, well, either they have to be not equal or equal. Like, you gotta get one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, equal start point people, not necessarily equal end point, which is why no women so far have made it through Marine Corps infantry officer training, but only like 6 have tried, I think. I don't remember. And you also have to understand that they may or may not have been getting treated fairly, but Marine Corps infantry officer training is very, very hardcore.
Hmm.
Much hardcore
I
than
mean,
Army.
we do have those 2 Ranger girls, though.
Yeah, okay, so Captain Greased, is actually the first female infantry officer in the United States Army.
Hmm.
Wait, man, that guy looks incredibly like, never mind, every Tom Clancy bad guy ever, basically. Anyway, she is the first female infantry officer at the captain level, though. So there's currently in the infantry officer basic course, well, it's eyeball at mouth for the Army. So the school that makes infantry lieutenants for the Army.
Hmm.
So the base level of officers. I think there's currently 2 or 3 females from the academy.
Right.
What I want to say it's 2 or 3 because it was like the first class after graduation got some high-speed females that wanted to do it, and they'll make it through flying colors. Freaking
Probably.
infantry basic officer leadership course for the United States Army isn't that hard if you can rock like 16 miles in one sitting and like, yeah, you can rock 16 miles in one sitting and aren't just a complete wimp.
So long as
Which
you
is
man up.
actually saying a lot. It's
Mm.
kind of sad. Like, the majority of guys just make it through just because, like, grit and bear it. It's not that hard, but it is kind of hard.
Mm.
If it were fully, like, graded, like if they had the full staff that they're supposed to have, it would be way better. It'd be way higher quality. But as usual, TRADOC things are undermanned because all the guys that do pretty good most of the time are sent to non-TRADOC. So training and indoctrination command, so the people in charge of training people,
Mm.
is way understaffed, like on all fronts for some reason, even though it's like the most important part of the freaking military, like
Why,
training
why
guys.
would you need to indoctrinate people?
Why? Yeah. Why would you train people? Like our infantry training right now for just basic infantry basic is not where it's supposed to be at. It's very, very bad. Like talking to freaking drill sergeants and stuff, because I did a little time there at the infantry basic not sorry, at the OSIT, which is the infantry basic course for enlisted guys, is nowhere near where it needs to be. But the problem is that the Army still has to make numbers on guys.
Mm.
And so they basically just trust that the units will train the guys properly.
Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
like having infantry basic properly staffed and training them the way they're supposed to be.
Just want to point out that I destroyed that helipad with an assault rifle.
Tom, it's like you could do it in the original Command and Conquer.
Ooh, and there I almost get wrecked.
Why would I expect anything else if you couldn't do it in the original Command and
Ooh,
Conquer?
that's true. I don't remember if I do die. Oh, yeah.
I know you died at some point because I seem to remember you called me after this and were like,
Just sigh, yeah. That does, yeah. Yeah. These guys keep getting called in, and it's because there's an officer nearby. That's part of the gameplay.
That's
Officers call in units. If you don't
That's
kill
pretty-
them, they'll keep calling in units. I don't remember where he is or anything, because you see, I can't kill these trucks with an assault rifle.
what?
Yeah.
No, for real. What?
I'm trying to figure out why it won't let me capture this point, because I don't see the guy. It's over there. Oh, there we go. Got it.
I'm ready. Just do it.
Oh, so
So yeah, it's just a problem with the U.S. military. It's a problem of like local militaries. Like there's not enough training time. And
well,
it's kind of bad.
yeah, because this will be important once we have President Trump.
Oh yeah, it's the thing. So right now, our military is concerned with like basically political correctness and making people feel okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with like certain parts of the changes. It doesn't matter at my level anyway what I think about it. But other parts, it's just like literally in the business of killing people. Hazing equals making people do push-ups because they screwed up on something minor. That's just a part of the military. Like it's supposed to not be now. As long, well, you can get away with it as long as you package it correctly. Like it's push-up improvement. But it's just very annoying because it's literally it's different than every other single field on the face of the planet. Like it's not even like being a cop. Being a cop is like, well, you're not supposed to just like kill people. You're a keeper of the peace. Like,
Yeah.
violence is supposed to be the last option when the other person is like, no, I want to kill people, and you're like, well, I'm gonna stop you because I'm a police officer. I'm gonna kill you first. A soldier is like, generally speaking, like, okay, so we put the infantry in. Why? Because the enemy was there, and we're at war with him, and we want to kill the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It's so different, but the military has to be the paragon of the United States culture for change and stuff.
Yeah. So we have to give freedom to people who don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, still have to have national defense. I'm not going to comment on wars or anything abroad because
well, why not?
Still,
uh,
because Russia and Syria and just like disappointment, and President Trump will take us somewhere. I'm not saying president. It's either President Trump or President Clinton.
At this point, yeah.
And see, the thing is that I predict if Hillary Clinton gets elected, it will be longer for us to go somewhere, but we'll still go somewhere.
Oh yeah, she's kind of
because the American people in the international community is going to be like, well, we need help, or the American people
somewhere is going to happen, and then we're going to have to step in.
It'll be profitable for her politically.
Yeah, well, it depends if it's for first or second term and something really bad goes down.
Yeah. Because second term, she's
because then you have to explain to all the Democrats why you went to war, even though they probably won't approve. So it's gonna be a problem for her.
Yeah, it depends on the situation as well.
Yeah.
And dadgummit, just partisan politics is so annoying. It's like, just do something if it makes sense. Even if it just makes sense for you, the people of your district or state. Like, come on. Like, what?
Well, and
we just all get along.
Until Pearl Harbor, the thing that made the most sense was not going to war in World War II. In fact, most people didn't want to.
Well, a lot of people didn't want to.
Yeah.
No, it's a thing. But President freaking, he was just like, I'm FDR, and I think it's good for us to support the Brits for our power and stuff. Although, okay, so here's the thing. I don't disagree with us doing things in an imperial way, but if we're gonna say one thing, then we should do it. I don't like packaging imperial.
Well, when you say the way that when you say, if we say we're going to do something, who's we? The president? The
No, I mean just the United States. So if like the majority of the United States is like, yeah, freedom, all this stuff, and like I support this, the freedom of the United States supports this action. Um, yeah, to reference 40K.
yeah.
Um, then yeah, like if we as a people believe something, i.e., we interpret slash implement the
See,
Constitution,
then you're at the we again.
Constitution-
Who's
okay,
we?
by we is the majority.
I
Okay,
mean, a
so for
lot of
the
people didn't want to go to Iraq. We still went to Iraq. We didn't agree. I didn't think we should go to Iraq. Uh,
so haven't seen polling data recently from that time.
well,
However,
okay, is it 51% of people want to go, therefore we want to go, or
that's what I'm saying. A majority. Say majority. I'm using the philosophy. I mean, not philosophy. I mean,
well, you see, that's where the partisan
re-
politics come in, because then it's like, well, not everyone wants to go to war, so we need people to
Well,
represent those people that
what I'm
don't want to go to
saying
war,
is
Blaine.
for my argument purposes, when I say we, I'm using the common language of 51%, i.e.,
Right.
majority. Quote majority. I don't
Well,
mean
a majority would
overwhelming
be
majority. I
three
mean
fourths. But,
we as in the majority
I
of that.
don't know. I
And
mean,
so what I'm saying is either we, the majority, 51%, should do what we say we should do and support freedom and
well,
democracies and
that's
republics.
a can of worms you're opening there, whether or not you went for freedom.
Because you don't want to be a democracy and a republic because the majority of your people are okay with being the way you are or whatever it is. Or we should just like, okay, so we can be an empire because we want to.
Yeah.
Empire.
The American Empire. Whole nation of fat people. That should be the next empire.
for, for the bacon.
We fight for the greatest of causes, bacon.
Yeah.
Which now you've disoffended all the Muslims that you're invading.
Or we fight for vegan bacon, which the Muslims can eat. And the Jews.
Well, as long as it's kosher, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kosher fake bacon.
We fight for kosher bacon.
That should just be our so yeah, but American politics, whatever. See, the problem though with American politics is that I have like no input whatsoever into any of the system. I've counted it multiple times before. Anytime somebody's like complaining about it, like, ooh, I freaking hate the way everything's happening and the army this and the army that. I'm just like, literally, so degrees of separation in between me and the level of rank I would need to be relevant in any discussion to this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 15 to no, not even 15. That's like 20 to 25 years.
But
Of
your
course.
ability to vote puts you supposedly in that section of it being
Oh,
multi-effective.
sure. But where I'm registered to vote at is probably going to vote Republican until Republican becomes the non-conservative slash whatever. Because Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma for you.
There are those counties that vote Democrat consistently, although their Democrats are not very much like Democrats.
No, it's a Republican with the Democrat name at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, because you got to be all about them farming and guns and freedom.
Yeah.
And Jesus, can't forget Jesus.
Farming, guns, freedom, and the freedom to choose Jesus. It's usually what the Democrats of Oklahoma I feel like. The freedom to choose Jesus. The
Freedom.
Republicans are
You have
like
freedom.
to have Jesus with guns. Wait, I thought you said guns once already.
Well,
Does that
yeah,
cancel out? No, it doesn't cancel out. It just doubles it.
just
Actually,
doubles the guns.
it's like it quadruples it. Oh, you could get in that light tank.
Yeah, I kind of panicked for a second because it was just aiming at me, but then
Oh no, it's a light tank.
I realized.
I totally can't survive one blast to the chest for sure.
Now that Chinook kept dropping off guys, so I know there's an officer somewhere around here, and there he is.
Boom. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. This tank doesn't actually seem that crazy to me. I'll have to look
No.
at the front again, but it's extremely low set compared to other tanks in
Well, yeah,
size.
it's a light tank.
Well, it is a light tank, but it's also just very low to the ground. It
And
makes sense. Like a lot of tanks in games are just like,
Like that
I'm
mammoth
so
tank.
tall and stuff. Like, I mean the mammoth, but the mammoth is the mammoth tank.
Yeah,
Like the mammoth is a super heavy tank in a video game that's
yeah,
actually really short.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
for those of you that don't know, the reason why I'm talking about a tank being short is literally so there's this thing called being able to see targets from far away, and you don't want that. You don't want just like your profile coming over a hill and then being like, "Yep, that's the Americans and the tanks." You want your tank to be as small and short as possible, which is one of the reasons why you look at tanks from World War II and you look at tanks now, and tanks now seem shorter, even though actual size comparisons. It's
Yeah,
like, wow,
they're
when the
huge.
M6 versus the M4, like, mm, big, but they look squat because they're made to be very small targets because guns are really good on tanks. It's not just armor you need. It's the ability to be like, oh no, he
Putting
doesn't.
firepower in a place is
Yep,
really your objective.
firepower in a place and don't get seen slash be a smaller target. Okay, okay. So I approve of this mammoth tank because it's only almost twice as tall as the Abrams tank. Most super heavy tanks would be like almost scraping the ceiling of this, or at least halfway up it. This mammoth is like, oh, it's in the bottom third.
Well,
Look at
yeah, they
that.
don't joke about it. They just call it a mammoth tank.
Yeah.
So it
It's got.
serves a purpose. Be huge.
Isn't the cannon on this called the Tusk, or is that the missile launcher
That's
system?
the missile launcher system.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Yep.
The Tusks.
Tusks.
The Tusks. Get it?
Really good anti-infantry.
Oh man. Oh, so something that annoyed me greatly in the past week was that Oklahoma, was it the District Appeals Court that declared that in a certain case, oral sex on someone while
Oh,
intoxicated or passed out from
yes.
alcohol is not rape.
It's not rape. Yeah.
So, like, if you go somewhere in Oklahoma
Mhm.
right now, this is the
Yeah.
way it's in the law. If you go somewhere and there's this chick just passed out on the ground or in your car from alcohol,
Yeah.
passed out from alcohol, not just passed out
Yeah. You can stick your dick in her mouth and it's fine.
in her mouth. But if you stick it in her vagina, that's rape.
That's rape. Yeah. I guess one you can get prego from, the other one you can't. So I guess that's
Yeah,
straight up.
but
No, that's rape to me.
but that's in most cases it is just on like sticking something into someone's orifice. Even if that's like
Yeah,
doing
without their permission, mind.
it's like doing a wet willy to someone. So right now in Oklahoma, if you're in the military and you do a wet willy on someone that doesn't want it, it's rape. But if you're not in the military and you stick your penis into some chick who's passed out drunk's mouth, it's not rape.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, want to do that? Move to Oklahoma. That's the kind of people we like around here, apparently.
They'll just get shot in the chest by now.
Yeah, I'd probably get shot.
And
But,
they'll rule it as like justified.
yeah, self-defense.
Even if it's not justified, probably. Or you'll get just fist bumped on the way into your 2 years of prison and get let out like 30 days later because
Yeah.
like, come on, man, it was rape. Like, it's okay. You can just kill people because they're stupid teenagers. And not that I'm saying it's not bad and that I wouldn't be super mad if somebody did. Are you using a shotgun to snipe those people? Oh,
No.
a sniper. Okay. It sounded like a shotgun from a different game. A shotgun and like just a little. I was like, sniping with the shotgun. Anyway, that annoyed me a lot. I was just like, thanks, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, really.
It is. Although this also might be a case of just like the appeals court being like, well, technically under the law that you were trying to use to prosecute this
Yeah.
is technically correct. Technical.
Yeah, it's probably just
Get him somewhere
technicality.
else. Like, because I haven't looked at the actual full case.
Nah, me neither.
I've just read an article or two on it, so I'm not fully educated on the subject.
Me neither, but doesn't mean I can have opinions based on little to no information.
Yes. So, as it stands, if the case is as we're describing it, and they're just like, well, technically, sex is just in your butt or vagina, then that's technically sex. Then Okay, we'll just reclassify things. Just oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well,
Or
no.
don't let your teenage daughter, go to stupid parties.
Well, it's not a case of not letting them. It's just the daughter will lie to the parents. No,
That's
no
weird.
teenage daughter is just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm going to a party, guys. Don't mind me.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
the
go illegally drink and stuff."
and trust and the just like
Yeah,
so
but not every family in the U.S. is gonna have that. So.
no, no, not at all. And I'm not saying that's like, oh, she deserved it thing or she was dressed for rape
Oh
kind of thing. That's
God.
not. It's like, okay, so yes, if you dress a certain way and go to really bad parts of town, you might be sexually assaulted. Is that a good excuse for you to be sexually assaulted? Of course
No,
not.
but
But if
come on.
if I a certain person, I'm not just gonna like if I'm a white dude, which I am I just gonna go into just some random part of Detroit I don't know in the middle of the night? And when I say Detroit, I don't mean the whole of Detroit. I mean the bad parts of Detroit because I
No, just
understand
all
like
of it. No, it's all trash.
places worse than Detroit near Detroit, which is interesting, and not parts of Detroit.
No, I just count it as Detroit.
Anyway, am I gonna do that? No. Am I
Yeah.
going to drive my car in there and be like, oh, yeah, this is a car way nicer than everything here and just leave it there parked on the street with the keys in it? No. Would that mean if it still got stolen, it was wrong? Yes. Would it mean that maybe I was a little silly for doing it? Yes. Would it mean that it's
Did,
completely and
did,
totally my fault? Well, no, you should be able to
no.
trust the citizens of your country.
Mm.
However, please just don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. I think that sums up everything, really.
Rape at all because it's bad and I hate it. And if any of my guys did that, I would be super duper pissed. And if any of them did it in wartime and it were World War III and there was summary execution and it was a reason for execution, I'm not saying I wouldn't summarily execute them because that's just bad. But officers can't summarily execute people in the current army. We're also not in a World War I situation, so and with the same levels of training and the same idea about our military as World War I European militaries. You know that Rommel summarily executed guys, right?
Oh,
A lot.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would
The-
mainly do it if they disrespected prisoners of war or treated them badly. He did execute people who treated prisoners of war badly. That's
yeah,
part of
and
the reason why he's still respected today. Is that he he was really nice to his prisoners of war.
yeah,
He would actually make soldiers give their food to the prisoners of war if they didn't have any.
oh yeah.
That's,
And of course, in Northern Africa in World War II, that was
yeah.
quote some of the most dignified fighting of the war. Of course,
Yes.
they're still trying to kill people, but
Yeah.
they would fight, and then they would be like, okay, well,
It's
it's
dignified fighting. Yeah.
quote, yeah,
The
quote
leaders
dignified
respected each
fight.
other.
When the it's still a weird thing, especially for me. So there's several instances where they would be in the middle of a long, drawn out battle that would last over several days, and in the middle of the night, when both of them knew that neither of the other was maneuvering on them, or even in the middle of the day when they knew that neither of them was maneuvering on the other and trying to actually like fight them, they would allow their medics and their men to go
Yeah.
out and recover the wounded and take care of the wounded. And prisoners of war were treated very, very well in Northern Africa and all
Yes.
these other reasons and stuff. Not that I don't think prisoners of war shouldn't be treated well in any instance,
I
because
don't know. So I have to give a certain amount of extra respect to Rommel. He's
yes,
a brilliant tactician, a gentleman, and
yeah,
he did it right. He's a
it's like
Nazi. He's not a douche.
need to be killed at that time so they didn't kill people. It's like
Yeah.
it's very interesting idea in modern war. But they were also in the desert, which has very clear, usually depending on what part of the desert you're in, because a lot of deserts are different. But very open lines of advance. It was very um, combined arms
Hmm.
warfare, very very mechanized. They relied a lot on the tanks when they were fighting, so it was apparent the tanks weren't going forward, and they were just like medics and stuff going out to get their wounded. So we're not going to shoot them. And besides, we told each other we wouldn't shoot our medics and stuff going out to get the wounded.
Hmm.
Although if it's something like ISIS or anything like that, it's like I'm not getting taken alive for nothing.
I also
Screw
wouldn't trust those
man.
kind of people.
Okay, so here's the thing. official rules and stuff is that if you're in a firefight with someone, like, okay, so this is more coin and ISIS and stuff. Um, they are completely legal to shoot, and of course, it depends on your rules of engagement for where you're at. But in the vast majority of the time, it's they were shooting at us. Our line of advance has not yet crossed where they're at. It's still okay to shoot them while they're on the ground.
Hmm.
However, part of this is due to them not being like Germans or Russians or something, and being like, "Oh, I am mortally wounded. Maybe the Americans will keep me from dying if I
Yeah.
just okay, I really can't do anything to you anymore." Theirs is more like, I'm going to still try and grab my AK as I'm mortally wounded and take out as many of them as I can. So
Yeah.
literally, before you pass anyone, so like you're assaulting across an objective, before you pass them, totally legal to shoot as many times as you want, even if they're just on the ground, like laying there.
Hmm.
You just do that because suicide vests, all these other things. It's literally like guys have died from that BS. Now, once you pass them, though, it's not. That becomes executing like people that would be considered POWs.
Hmm.
Such is just the reality that we're in right now. It would probably be very different if we were fighting like if we were just fighting another Western power and there were very clear like we would do these things and we would not do these things. It'd be okay. But
Yeah, I
so
feel like it would be a very
oh
politically correct war
oh yeah,
if it were with a major power.
there would be actual surrenders. So a unit gets totally surrounded and cut off, and
Hmm.
as long as we're not fighting like okay, the Russians and we're in Russian territory and all these other things, then the unit would just be like, okay, yeah, you got us. We're a company-sized element completely cut off, and you've got like a brigade surrounding us. Yeah, we're probably gonna surrender. But with ISIS, no, that's
No,
not the case.
no,
It's literally
that's not their goal. Their goal is to kill as many of you as they can.
yeah, even
It's
if
not
they can't.
about winning or
It's
losing.
literally a part of they're like they literally think and believe that we're gonna come over, we're going to fight them up to only 5 to 10% of them will remain, and then the imam is going to come back and they're going to ride to victory. Like it's going to be a war of annihilation, and they're almost all of them, except for like a few thousand, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, are going to remain. But then the Imam will come back, which is their essentially sort of Messiah figure. It's the fourth, the third or the fourth. I forget off the top of my head. I apologize, I forget. But he'll come back out of occultation, which means he was like taken away by God, and then he gets brought back. It will come out of occultation, and then we'll lead them to victory
Hmm.
against all of their foes, and it will be a global empire then at that point. They literally believe this.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So,
will bunch them all into one place once we're winning enough because they'll believe it's happening, and we could use a nuclear weapon on them. Even though,
well, we would probably never do that.
well, we would probably not use a nuclear weapon just
No,
because the way that nukes are seen, even though it's just
the way they're seen, and also the
it's a
fact
weapon.
that
They're just
winning hearts and minds, that would not help very much.
oh yeah, using nukes is evil, even if
No,
it's like okay, let me
it's
put
evil. Nukes are considered so evil. They're evil if you use them on ISIS.
yeah,
That's how evil nukes are.
it's really kind of bad because so for me, I'm not a guy that's like, oh well, we should just nuke them all and blah 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 blah. No, that's retarded. Uh, but nuclear weapons are they're a weapon. It's understandable. There's a reason why we didn't use them on the Russians. It's because the Russians had a lot of others, and we weren't crazy. And like, why would we just nuke Russian cities for a preemptive strike if we're not like invade Russia? We wouldn't
Well,
preemptively because they were going to nuke us preemptively because we were going to nuke them preemptively.
well, that's the other thing about like nukes. We wouldn't use them on civilians really. We'd use them on military targets because
Yeah,
that's what makes sense.
yeah, and the
This is
problem.
where I get lost, by the way. I That door didn't open when it's
So we'll
supposed to.
fill nuclear.
Yeah, we'll fail. Let's talk about nuclear warfare.
Yeah. So, but and here's the thing where modern Russian strategy comes into play is that us and the Russians have very realistically considered in our doctrine and strategy utilizing nuclear weapons at the tactical level. So tactical level basically being the battalion, maybe up to brigade size and lower. So okay, for everyone that doesn't know all these acronyms and stuff, okay, there's a squad that has roughly 10 guys. There's a platoon that has roughly 10 or not 10, 4 squads. So you're up to 40 guys. There's a company that has roughly 4 to 5 platoons. So you're up to between 100 to 150 guys, somewhere in there, depends on the military and stuff. There's a battalion that has roughly 4 to 5 companies. And then there's a brigade that has roughly 4 to 5 battalions. So just keep multiplying in your head. I know you're all math geniuses and you're just following along as I say all
Yeah,
this
all of our viewers are
digits and
extremely intelligent.
brigades and all this other stuff. So a battalion to brigade level. No, nowadays it would be really a company to brigade level that would be a tactical level.
Hmm.
Now, in a major conflict like a World War III, it would definitely be like a brigade level would be tactical, up to tactical. And tactical is just like small unit actions and stuff, or large unit actions. But like strategic level is like entire army groups. So like if you remember your World War II stuff, like strategic level is like army group center on the
Hmm.
Eastern Front, the Germans.
Right.
It's like that's a concern, that's a strategic concern, like the massive army groups or the Russian fronts, stuff like that, like entire countries and maneuvering whole armies and stuff. That's the strategic level. And the tactical is like me taking a infantry company and going and fighting something. So anyway, the Russians have considered, and it was a part of the doctrine and currently should be, except that's kind of classified for when they'll use tactical nuclear weapons is very classified. Um, but it is a consideration, especially if we started getting into a World War III and invading Russia, which is what Russia is terrified of. So right now, the Russian main threat that they prepare for militarily, at least as recently as 2013, 2014, and it's obvious that they're still worried about this because they're in Ukraine, is NATO and US aggression
Hmm.
and an invasion of the Russian mainland through Europe
Right.
and through the Ukraine.
Well, yes, they're worried about an invasion, so they're going to annex part of another country.
Yeah, which is adding distance to where they're at. Because so the distance between, actually, let me pull it up right quick. Let me just look at Moscow on a. So if you take the Soviet Union and where they were at, and the distance from Moscow to the edge of the Soviet Union, I want to say it was like 1,000 kilometers at from them to like East Germany. I don't exactly recall. Let's see. I'm just going to use some quick Google Maps. It'll be miles. So the distance from Moscow to Ukraine, or to the very edge of their, like, let's just say Belarus. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
it is like 220 miles.
Right.
And so halfway to Ukraine, that would be the ideal route for an invasion is through Ukraine. Instead of just being like 300 miles, it's now 500 miles, I want to say, to the front line.
Hmm.
So they've essentially doubled the space and time that they have, which is a major element of Russian defensive strategy, is having time and space. The Germans, and so I will be currently referencing um, Fighting in Hell. It is a book that's a compendium of army studies that were done in the 50s that were written by firmer, former German staff officers in World War II.
I'm sure they were pretty firm as well.
Yeah, they were firm. It's totally hard. That had experiences on the Eastern Front. And time and again, something that they reference is that Russia was so large that it just swallowed German forces. It was completely different than fighting in Western Europe, even in Eastern Europe. It was so different because it was just so large. They could give up just 50 or 100 miles, just like that,
Like
and
that.
be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's fine. That bought us a few days. They could just do that, which is crazy. Which so the Russians want that, and also the fact that fighting in Russia involves fighting Russia itself, the weather,
Yeah.
climate. It's just different.
I
Uh,
feel like it's less of a problem in modern times, but I'm sure the Germans also thought that.
yeah,
Because
and the thing is that the Germans had the largest invasion army ever assembled ever, and
Yeah.
it swallowed them whole.
Well, they also, I know. Let's invade right before winter with no winter clothes.
Okay, so
it,
that's a part of the problem.
yeah,
They had numerous problems. However, it is still the case that if Russia had even been a third smaller, they would have won.
yeah. Well,
Well,
they would have
if
won with a
Russia
lot of
had taken
things, but
Moscow. Yeah,
whatever.
no, I'm not trivialize it and say this is the
Hmm.
one problem. I'm just
Yeah,
going to say what they wrote was that holy crap, Russia
yeah,
is big.
yeah. That's
Russia is
true.
different, and we had no idea because it's very different than Eastern Europe. They were planning on fighting a fight that was similar to one in Eastern Europe. It was completely different.
Yes.
Fighting in Russia is like fighting on a different continent and should be
Yeah.
treated as such because
Yeah.
it's basically a continent. It's Eurasia.
Yeah.
Russia is just okay. So the entire land area of Russia right now, the Russian Federation, is larger than that. I think it's larger than that of Pluto. Not exactly sure. Don't super quote me on that.
Well,
Mm,
how does it compare to the U.S. in landmass? And this is where I die and decide I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna do the most important thing I've done in an hour.
okay, well, I'm talking it over.
Just double quick. Yeah, that's talking it over. Next week we'll be going back to Divinity probably.
And talking about Russia and
And
things ended up happening,
yes,
and why a American drive through Turkey and Georgia up through the Caucasus would be the decapitating strike on Moscow.
see you next week.